Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And I hope you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. The tokenization revolution back in August of last year, we saw this get posted by Ripple. And we were really on par with this idea that tokenization was going to be huge and leading into the later months of 2023 and even into early 2024. Guess what we saw? We saw tokenization really heat up, but we already knew that it was going to be big because Blackrock told us about it back in 2022 as well. And we have been following tokenization since, well, going all the way back to 2021 and prior. I mean, I wasn't a content creator around 2020 and 2019 and things like that, but tokenization is not new. This has been around since 2016 and even a little bit beforehand. But as we really look at this, right, this got posted back in last August. And if we look at the full breakdown, it is the token lifecycle in the internet of value. What does the lifecycle journey look like for a tokenized asset? Now, as we look at this, we still have to keep in mind that everyone is focused on one thing, and that is what these big players are doing. The reason why everyone is focused on BlackRock is because of the money tied to BlackRock. But what they are completely forgetting about and what they're oblivious to is just how big tokenization actually is. It's not going to be just, determined by one big name like BlackRock coming into the space and utilizing Ethereum, which everyone believes, which I think is just ridiculous, and I actually think it's a distraction away from the big players that they're going to be utilizing. But regardless, everyone is focused on what these names are doing and not the names in the space that are already here that have the infrastructure in place for tokenization to actually become a reality. And here we have a full breakdown within this paper by Ripple. We have Tokenize, which this is when you actually tokenize anything of value. An asset and ownership rights of that asset are converted into a unique digital token that represents its value on the blockchain. 80% plus global finance leaders think tokenization will have big impacts on trading tokenized assets like stocks and bonds, buying and selling real estate, derivatives, and even carbon markets. $18 billion total market size of all tokenized assets. Managed, the token can be used to trade, transfer ownership, make a payment, lend, borrow, etc. via an exchange or marketplace. $50 billion plus total DeFi market cap in February of 2023. 66% of enterprise finance leaders are familiar with using blockchain solutions for finance to trade, borrow, or lend tokenized real-world assets. And then down here, we also have Move. With increased liquidity, the token's value can be used as a form of digital currency and moved around the world in real time, 24/7, 365. $250 trillion plus expected cross-border payments value by 2027. And what they are looking at here is tokenizing the cross-border payment scheme, which is the same exact thing that the BIS has been addressing, as well as even the IMF. Now, outside of this, right, we know there's a lot of value behind specific markets like the cross-border payment market. But what about tokenized business? So we have tokenization will drive greater global innovation. Finance decision makers expect to explore tokenization as a way to drive innovation over the next 3 years. And here we have assets that would benefit the most from tokenization, 63%. This is online security and data protection tools, 50% stocks. We also have 72% as the major thing in terms of the next 3 years, tokenization will drive innovation. Here we have tokenization and anticipate it to have meaningful impact across a variety of use cases. And here we have for financial institutions, public stock trading and private share trading. For enterprises, metaverse 67% and access to events and experiences 51%. This is businesses and financial giants that are going to seriously see a ton of impact from tokenization and afford many benefits for enterprises and financial institutions alike. Like, for an example, top benefits of tokenization: access to 24/7, 365 markets, greater financial agility and flexibility, enhanced security and privacy, improved efficiency and automation. Top benefits of CBDCs and stablecoins: better data management, security, stability, and longevity. Also, expected usage is high in the near future. 80% plus of global finance leaders are likely to begin using cryptocurrency, CBDCs, and or stablecoins in their business in the next 3 years. Again, business is going to have a major change happen to it over the course of the next 3 years alone. And you got to remember, this is back in 2023. So we're talking about 2026 in the next 2 years. confidence is highest in cryptocurrencies to meet business needs compared to traditional currencies, CBDCs, and stablecoins. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Well, because just recently we saw two reports. This is April 14th of 2023. Tokenization of real-world assets, a key driver of digital asset adoption, Bank of America. It was back in 2023, okay? Focus on the dates here. Now, this is from Bank of America that are even talking about how tokenization is going to be a huge thing, especially around adoption of digital assets. But then also, November 3rd, 2022, a little bit prior to that, we have JP Morgan executes first DeFi trade on public blockchains. Now, if we look into all of this, if we address all of this, what I find very funny about this is just recently, guess what we have been hearing? Private blockchain technology, private blockchain technology. No, that's no longer a thing. We know that these TradFi giants are now looking at public blockchain technology because remember, if they tap into private blockchain technology, it's just a walled garden. Now, I said over here on X that the real 200 IQ play is realizing how small of a player Blackrock is in the game of tokenization. Everyone is playing the hype game around a company with $10 trillion in assets under management. Think bigger. The total addressable market of tokenization isn't even in the trillions. It's in the quadrillion dollar level. And this is because going back to December of 2022, BlackRock CEO says next generation of markets is tokenization. Since then, yes, they've picked and chosen a few winners. But beyond that, that's just BlackRock. We're not talking about everyone else, okay? But what's funny about this is, in a recent report from Medico back in September, tokenization, the future of asset ownership beyond ETFs and REITs. This is from Medico back in September, even before the ETFs got approved, telling us that it's much bigger than just ETFs. Everything outside of just ETFs and even REITs, like everything is going to be tokenized. We have down here, the future is tokenized. While ETFs and REITs have been revolutionary, and let me zoom in so that you guys can see this, have been revolutionary in providing average investors with opportunities to own fractions of otherwise illiquid assets, they still function within the framework of traditional finance with all its inherent limitations. Tokenization not only offers fractional ownership, but enhances it with unprecedented programmability, higher transparency, and superior price discovery mechanisms. As blockchain technology matures and regulatory frameworks adapt, tokenization stands to redefine our understanding of what it means to own an asset. Without these, digital assets will struggle to reach their full potential. So tokenization is the hidden key here, just like a lot of these players, like for an example, Bank of America are telling us. But what is significant about Medico coming out and saying this? Well, it's showing us that beyond what we see with the ETF nonsense, there's a lot more things happening behind the scenes that most are not aware of because they're only focused on one name, and that's BlackRock. We go back to these breakdowns from Ripple, talking about tokenization, talking about the key findings behind it. And then you have these traditional giants like Bank of America and JP Morgan really kind of showing you what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what they're planning on doing. Because even in terms of this one, this is broken down in terms of DeFi and around tokenized government bonds. This is a big deal. What everyone should be looking at is what the TAM of tokenization really is. There is trillions on top of trillions out there that will be touched by tokenization. It's not about BlackRock. It's not about Fidelity. It's not about Wisdom Tree. It's not about State Street. It's not about Vanguard. It's about the entire amount of money out there in terms of assets and things of value that will be touched by tokenization. Also, recently, there was a great post made by Bank XRP and its Ripple Merrick discussing Medico, HSBC, tokenized gold, and real estate. Check it out.
Ripple acquired a company called Medico, Swiss-based custody solution who are serving, tier one banks globally. And the reason why is that a lot of these banks and large FIs are looking at how they can tokenize real-world assets, but essentially don't have the tech behind it or don't have the capability to build or want to build to be able to actually have a custody solution that enables that safety for their customers. So HSBC is one example. Largest bullion provider globally. They are now digitizing gold, and it's just to a subset of their customer base at the moment. But if a player like HSBC is coming into the market, tokenizing gold, as well as real estate and other kind of assets, then, you know, on the front of it, one side they're saying, oh, you know, crypto, you know, this, that, and the other, and it's clear that behind the scenes, as I mentioned earlier, they're looking at strategies, looking at the market opportunity, and actually believe that it's not just hype, that it's happening.
And this is what I mean by it's so much bigger than Blackrock, because you have these absolute giants like HSBC now realizing that beyond the hype, there is a lot of value here. There is a lot of opportunity here, especially even around the gold and real estate market. Again, real estate is a global $300 trillion plus asset class in itself, and it's illiquid. It needs liquidity. How can you tap into liquidity? You tokenize it. Over here, we have David Schwarz explains to what extent does Ripple benefit from working with HSBC. A lot of banks don't care about payments, and they are looking at tokenized commodities like gold. Big shout out to XRP Drops for this. We have a reminder. Ripple took on the crypto custody market with the acquisition of Medico, and the growing institutional crypto custody market is expected to reach a staggering $10 trillion by 2030.
Market, you know, something like $10 trillion by 2030. And, you know, the increases in tokenization, you know, in the early days of Ripple, another thing I learned talking to banks is that a lot of banks don't care about payments. And they're looking at things like digital asset insurance. They're looking at tokenized commodities like gold. So I think those are tokenized securities. HSBC is extremely interested in those types of projects. They're
And there you guys have it, right? That comment there about tokenized securities. Guys, we're talking about hyping up Blackrock. Let's put this into perspective real quick, all right? So you have Blackrock in the tokenization game. Everyone's focused on what Larry Fink is doing. Guys, Blackrock has $10 trillion in assets under management. Let's put this into perspective. You have the DTCC that in 2022 settled 2.5. We're not talking about trillion. No, we're talking about quadrillion. $2.5 quadrillion worth of securities. But we're supposed to sit here and only focus on what Blackrock is doing. It's much bigger than Blackrock, guys. It's much bigger because tokenized securities is happening. We know it's happening because the DTCC and Swift are working on it. We still need a marketplace under it. We still need to settle those things of value. There is so much money out there that is going to touch this market. You need to pay attention. Over here we have, this is crazy. Bank after bank after bank. This is from Paul Barron's new video. His reaction when he looks at just a fraction of Ripple's partners. These are major partnerships. Anyone who deals with Ripple and XRP will inevitably ask themselves, is this a sleeping giant that could be waiting for an explosion? Check it out.
Here's the list of all Ripple partnerships. You can, of course, see all these different, man, this is crazy. But these are all, there's SBI Holdings right there. Just bank after bank after bank after bank. I mean, there it is, guys. This is probably just what is in, you know, the coffer right now versus the deals that they're probably working today to start to execute this even more. So is this a sleeping giant that could be waiting for an explosion?
And, you know, that's something that I also want to bring up is the fact that, like, as we look at all these banks, they don't care about payments, right? We have it over here from David Schwarz. Like, a lot of these banks, they don't care about payments. If you could help improve payment, yeah, that's great. But tokenization, if we're about to see banks move towards tokenization and the revolution of tokenization, and back in 2019, Ripple was working with 38 of the top 100, 38% of the top 100 banks out there. That was back in 2019. Imagine how many they're working with today. And if they were working with that many banks back then, and we could just imagine it, right? Think about how many banks are now in talks with Ripple, with, of course, the Medico acquisition, about not only crypto custody, tokenization opportunities. How can they do this? How are they, going to, work with Ripple and the XRP Ledger? Because remember, although everyone wants to say, oh, no, XRP Ledgers, they're not using that. They don't care about XRP. They want to just sell XRP for revenue. Guys, go back to February. Zonix and Ripple partnered to bring multi-asset tokenization onto the XRP Ledger. This is a huge move, and it's something that we spotlighted on the channel. Now, beyond this, you also have Ripple partners with Axeler to boost real-world asset tokenization on the XRP Ledger. This was February 28th. Guys, this is a difference of 5 days. And then also back in July of 2023, Ripple Labs to revolutionize real estate industry through tokenization, all on the XRP Ledger. Like, we're not sitting around and we're not trying to speculate on if Ripple's going to utilize the XRP Ledger, because we know that they are. It's the same exact reason why Ripple posted a job offering in both New York and London on institutional DeFi use cases on the XRP Ledger, focusing on tokenization specifically. Like, I'm not trying to sell you guys on XRP. I don't care if you invest, buy, hold. I don't know what you guys want to do with XRP. I don't care what you do with XRP. But as we do start to see a lot of things changing around this space, which we will, right? Everything around this space will change. Right now, we're still looking at the price action of these altcoins, and we're like, what's Bitcoin going to do next? Who's going to hype up crypto next? Where's the hype going to come from? Like, we're not going to be thinking about that in the next couple years, because the only thing that we are going to be focused on is how valuable these utility projects are now becoming. Because it's not going to be a game of, oh, we have to wait for Bitcoin to pump, because then we'll start to see Bitcoin dominance possibly selling off, which is going to lead to alt season. Like, we're going to be in a utility-driven market by that time. Okay? And again, price action is not going to be a question, because it's going to be an up-only game. Now, is it going to be up only in the short term? No. Are stocks up only? No. But I do think that when we really look at this space right now, so many people are clouded by the short term, and they're clouded by the idea that we're still in a Bitcoin-driven market. We're not in a market where any of this means much to price action. But to those that see what's happening and realizing what all of this actually means and what is going to be happening over the course of the next few years, right? All of this matters. All of this is crucial information. It's the number one reason why I still talk about these things on a daily basis. It's because I see how valuable all of this information is going to be when utility matters. And we're getting there. Regardless of if you want to follow along or not, it's okay. You don't have to. I'm just saying that we are getting there. Regulations, standardization, all of these things are now falling into place that is going to allow for this tokenization revolution to actually happen. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.